In this video, we'll learn about GSTR-9. GSTR-9 is an annual return which is required to be filed by a regular registered person. And when we say regular registered person, which means you are actually filing your GSTR-1 and GSTR-3B, when you are filing your G1, G3B, you are also required to file GSTR-9, which is an annual return. Now, when we talk about is it required to be filed by every taxpayer or are there certain exemptions to it? So here, as we mentioned, it has to be filed by a regular registered person, right? When we are saying regular, which means if you are a composition person, then GSTR-9 is not for you. If you are an ISD, GSTR-9 is not for you. Similarly, if you are an e-commerce operator who is filing GSTR-8, GSTR-9 is not for you. But obviously, you are also filing 1 and 3B. Even when you are an e-commerce operator, then GSTR-9 is required to be filed for that commission income, right? So this is about GSTR-9. Now talking about the another important point, is there a threshold limit to the same, right? So for that, the government have already issued a notification which was there in 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 20, 21, 22, 23 also they have now issued the notification, which means if your turnover is up to 2 crore, in that particular case GSTR-9 is an optional return for you, right? So it's not mandatory for you, but if your turnover exceed 2 crore, in that particular case it becomes mandatory for you to file your GSTR-9. So now the question is, what if my turnover is up to 2 crore? Can I still go ahead and file GSTR-9? The answer is yes, you can still go ahead and file GSTR-9. So whenever you see that there is a differences between your GSTR-1, GSTR-3B and the books of account, similarly the ITC which you have claimed and actual ITC which is there as per books of account, and you see there is lot of discrepancy and you want to show the correct information in your GSTR-9, it's always feasible that you should always go ahead and file your GSTR-9, right? But whenever you see, okay, there is no discrepancy, every data is correct, then in that case you can always skip filing your GSTR-9 if your turnover is up to 2 crore, right? So this was all about your GSTR-9 filing. Now we will actually see how exactly you can automate this entire GSTR-9 filing, because when it comes to GSTR-9 filing, obviously there are certain prerequisites. And when we talk about prerequisite, which means you should have your GSTR-9 information, which is auto draft information from the government portal. You should have your entire file GSTR-1 information. You should have entire file 3B information. You should have your 2B information. You should also have a document level information of 8A of GSTR-9. You should have your sale register in place. You should have your purchase register in place. So these are some of the information you should have with you handy. Along with that, you should also have your GL information, which is your revenue GL and the tax GL, and you should do all the comparison between all of this data, be it your 1 versus 3B versus book, or be it your 2B versus 3B versus your books of account. So all this reconciliation you should do handy, so that if there is certain adjustment which has to be done, you get it done in your 1 and 3B or maybe in your books of accounts, right? So these are some of the information you should have it. And again, when we are saying that you should have all this file data, you should have this for 19 months. When I am saying 19 months, because we all understand that if you are filing, let's assume GSTR-9 for FY 22-23, in that particular case, you can do certain amendments, certain additions which is related to FY 22-23 till your October return, which is October 2023. So this becomes your 19 months, and it's always good that while I am filing my GSTR-9, I should know all the adjustments, all the additions which are related to a particular financial year and I have done in the next year. So all this information should be handy, but obviously if you have to download this one by one, it will become a tedious job. So let's actually understand how Clear automates your entire GSTR-9 process, and also make sure that there is a one-click download of all the government data and the reconciliations and all the reports you get handy. So let's see this by looking into the video. So to prepare GSTR-9 using Clear, you just have to click on GSTR-9. After you click on GSTR-9, select the business for which you want to prepare GSTR-9, and you can always prepare GSTR-9 at a PAN level, which means for all the GSTNs which you have under a particular PAN, you can always prepare GSTR-9 for all this GSTR in a single go. Then you select a financial year, by default is 22-23, then you click on continue. After you click on continue, you will be asked to download this entire data from the government portal in a single click for all of your GSTN. So when you just see here, I had 2 GSTN, but you may have 20 GSTNs also. So you will be able to download the data from the government portal in a single click for all your GSTN. And now when I am saying the data, Here also you can see you can download your entire GSTR-1 for 19 months, GSTR-2B for again 19 months, your 3B for 19 months, then your GSTR-9 for the current year, your GSTR-9 for the previous year, and also the document level detail of your GSTR-9 table 8A, right? There also you can get this information in a single click. So what you have to do, you just have to click on download button. Once you click on download button, you will see all the data will get downloaded with a just single click, which means all this 19-month data for 1, 3B, 2B, 8A of G9, everything is getting downloaded for all of your GSTR in just a single button. And you can also see how quick it is that it has already downloaded the data too. So after your data is downloaded, and here you can see it's 98%, the reason is because obviously you are not in the October month, but once you are in October month you will see the 100% data will be downloaded, but here it's 98% because obviously the October month data is not still downloaded since we have not even reached that state. Once this part is done, you just have to click on proceed. After you click on proceed button, we'll give you an option to ingest your sales and the purchase register. So if it is already ingested in ClearText, then you don't have to ingest the data again and you can just click on skip. But if it is not there in ClearText for this entire financial year, which is because we are preparing this for FY 22-23. So if it is not there, then you can always ingest your sales and the purchase register by clicking on sale register and then click on import file. Again, here you can ingest the data in the ClearText template, you can use your own template, and you can even ingest your template as it is without making any changes to the template, and also you can use government template to ingest the data. Similarly, you can even ingest the purchase register from here. Once this data has been ingested, which is your sales and the purchase register, you can just click on done, and if you don't want to ingest it, that is also okay, you can just click on done in that particular case. Once this is done, then we will be computing your entire summary basis this data which you have downloaded. So we will be now computing your total turnover as per your GSTR-1, as per your sale register, as per your file 3B. Similarly, we will be computing your entire liability under reverse charge basis your purchase register, basis your 2B, basis your GSTR-9 of current year. So these are the different sources, and against every sources we will be computing this turnover, the tax liability other than the reverse charge, the tax liability under reverse charge, what is your net ITC, what is your net ITC on import of services and RCM, and what is your final ITC which is available to you. So all of this will be computed basis different data over here, right? Once this is done, so in the same view, right, you will be able to know that whether the turnover reported in your GSTR-1, 3B and the books are same or not. And if there is a discrepancy, then obviously you have to correct either your books of account or maybe your the GSTR-1 or the 3B filing, which means you have to do certain adjustments or amendments. Similarly, when it comes to ITC also, we tell the ITC as per your purchase register, the ITC as per your 3B and the ITC as per your 2B. So all of this thing you can see from here itself without going to a different place, and this can be done for all of your GSTN in a single shot. Not only this, many times we want to just focus on a few things, right? I want to just focus on turnover. I don't want to look into all other column which is present over here. So that functionality is also available, which means you can directly click on action and then you have to just click on show and hide button. And then you may say, okay, I don't want to focus on all of this thing, just show me turnover for all of my GSTNs. So then you can just unhide this and just click on save. Once you do that, now you can see that only the turnover column is appearing over here and you can only focus on turnover. Right? In the same way, you may say that, okay, I want to maybe put the liability first, or maybe turnover later, or maybe I may say that, okay, I want to put this net ITC first, right? It should come here, and the other columns I don't want to focus, let it be at a later stage. So you can also do this and just click on save button, and this particular columns you can change as per your requirement. Not only this, many times we want that, okay, I want to download this entire information, whatever is appearing over UI in an Excel format. So that can again be done. So you can even download this entire particular report, whatever we are showing here in our Excel file, by clicking on the download Excel. Once you click on download Excel, you will also be able to download this particular report in an Excel file. So you can see this particular file has been downloaded, and this is how exactly it looks like. It will show you all state names, all of your GSTNs, the sources, the status and the status time, the turnover, liability, all of the column which you have seen in the UI will be present over here. Along with this, you can also see a detail. When we are saying detail, here also you may see for each and everything, and even for all the return periods, right? So you can see all this information. So even if you want to see, okay, show me all this information for all the return periods. I don't want to do only at a total level. Rather, I want to see this information for all my return period. What was for April, what was for May, what was for June, July, all of this thing. Again, that can be done by using this particular column. So you can see that in this Excel file, we have shown for all the return periods. So April, what was the turnover, for May, what was the turnover. So you can even see for all of this thing by downloading this particular report. Not only this, many times we have, okay, I also want to know the breakups, right? What is IGST, CGST, HGST, so that can also be seen in an Excel file. Other than that, this is the important point, but the most important point is I want to see all the comparisons report in a single shot. I want to know what is the difference between 1 versus 3B versus books, what is the difference between 2B versus 3B versus books. Give me the entire file G1, and in there also you just tell me what is amendment, when exactly that amendment happened, what was the corresponding original value. Again, all of these things can be seen from here itself without going to any other place. So you just have to click on action. Once you click on action, you can just see, okay, 1 versus 3B versus books. I want to go through this report. Just click on this button. Once you click on this 1 versus 3B versus books, you will be able to see a particular report. So here itself you would be knowing, okay, this is my entire 1 versus 3B versus books report. So you can even see the reports like a comparison reports between G1 versus 3B versus books, 2B versus 3B versus books, your file G1, 2B and 3B, all of this report can be seen. For example, if you want to see on 1 versus 3B versus books, just click on this button. Once you click on this button, you will be redirected to a particular tab and where you will be able to see the panel level 1 versus 3B versus books. Here you will be knowing the differences between your 1, 3B and the books at a total level as well as month on month level. And also you can like expand all the rows by looking into the drill down of the same for your reference purpose. Not only this, if you want to see, okay, tell me the breakups of IGST, CGST, HGST and all, then that also you can see by clicking on expand button, and here you will be able to see all such breakdowns. Not only this, you will also be able to see the section level differences if there are, because many times we see that maybe zero date supply instead of under the zero date section I have shown in the outward supply section. So all the differences can also be seen by looking into this particular report. And even the amendment adjustments in fact is also over here. So whenever there is an amendment happening, we'll show what is the amended value and what was the corresponding original value to that particular amendment. So all of this thing you can see in a single shot. You can even download this report in an Excel file for your reference purpose. Now in the same way, you can also look for the other reports. You can just see your maybe the like reports like 2B versus 3B versus books and all this report, which where whenever you click on this, you will be redirected to a different tab. Once this part is done, then you just have to click on prepare GSTR-9. As you click on prepare GSTR-9, then we'll make sure your entire GSTR-9 is auto prepared basis some source data, right? So you can see now your entire GSTR-9 is getting prepared and it is now prepared. And in the GSTR-9 also, what you can do, you can just click on view and edit prepare GSTR-9 and you will be able to see your entire form has been auto filled. So you can see that this is your entire table 4, table 5, table 6 and all of this has been already auto filled, and you can also see the corresponding source for this information. So for example, when it comes to table number 4, table number 5, table number 10, table number 11, table number 9, all this can be auto filled basis your file G1. So we also show at the same time that what was the corresponding source. So under the source you will know, okay, this is prepared basis your file G1. Similarly, when it comes to table number 4G, and we know it's an inward supplies which is liable to reverse charge, this cannot be filled basis G1. So we show that this has been filled basis file GSTR-3B. Not only this, because whenever it comes to certain information which we reflect over here, for example, it's a B2C, we want to actually know that what all we have added, because there can be B2C large, there can be B2C. So I want to know what all sections has been added over here. So you can also see the drill down by clicking on this plus button. As you click on plus button, we'll know, okay, this comprises of your B2C large amendment, the CDN-UR debit note, the CDN-UR A debit note and corresponding original. So you will be able to see all these drill downs also over here itself without going to any other place. Similarly, when you look into even table number 6, 7 and table number 8, and when we look into table number 12 and 13, this also gets auto filled basis your GSTR-3B. So here we show, okay, in 6A, because this is a non-editable field by the government, there we grey out this so that we know that this is the information which you can't edit. We also show that source as G9 draft. So this is the information which has been autofilled basis the government logic, and it has been freezed, which means we cannot edit this. But when it comes to other information like from 6B to 6H, you would understand this has been autofilled basis your file GSTR-3B. Along with that, but the question is, what if I want to change the source? I don't want to use the source as maybe file 3B or file GSTR, but I want to actually change the source. Can I do that? The answer is yes. You can even change the source for the different tables of this GSTR-9 form. Here you may see that, okay, I have filled this table number 4 basis maybe your file G1, maybe table number 6 basis your file 3B, then we have table number 7, this is again filled basis some sources. Then we do have certain other information like table number 10 and 11 which has been filled basis GSTR-1. Question is, can I edit the sources? Can I use some different sources? For example, can I fill my table number 4 and 5 basis sale register? The answer is yes, you can even do that. For that, what you just have to do is you just have to click on action, and we do have a button called change data source. You just have to click on change data source. As you click on change data source, you will be able to see different tables over here. These are the different tables of GSTR-9, and it is combined in a way so that it can be used. So for example, you cannot have like table number 4 and table number 5 different tables. Some you may say, okay, table 4 basis SR or maybe table 5 basis G1, that will make the calculation itself wrong. So we have accumulated in a way so that you can have a particular source for multiple tables. So you can see table number 4, 5, 9 except 4G, because 4G you cannot fill basis G1. So here you will show that this is something which you can file basis G1, basis sale register, basis your draft GSTR-9 of current year. So you can even select any other sources if you don't want to rely only on G1. You may say, okay, just fill basis government ka GSTR-9 itself. That is correct, I want to go with that. You can do that. Similarly, when it comes to table number 10 and table number 11, then you may say, okay, just file this basis my file G1. That is okay. You may say, okay, HSN summary, by default we say you should autofill basis G1, but you may say, no, I autofill this basis sale register. Again, you can do that. You can just autofill this basis sale register. So these are the tables, these are the sources where you may select the different sources over here just to prepare your GSTR-9. Once you have changed this entire sources, you just have to click on prepare GSTR-9. Once you click on prepare GSTR-9, we will be recomputing your entire GSTR-9 basis of sources which you have selected. Now you can see your entire GSTR-9 is getting computed basis the sources which you have selected, right? Not only this, here once we even compute it, you can see this is already been computed. Now when you actually see the entire GSTR-9 form, you see that this has been updated basis the sources which you have selected. So this has been upchanged. Like for example, here you changed from GSTR-1 to GSTR-9 draft. So this has been changed over here. Along with this, the another important point is that once your GSTR-9 is filed, you cannot revise this entire GSTR-9, right? So that's a very important point which we should understand. Because once let's assume, okay, I have filed my G9, can I revise it? The answer is no, which means that becomes my final thing. Tomorrow, even if the department has to come with a notice, they are going to look into my final GSTR-9. So it's very important that whenever you file your GSTR-9, it is correct and it is error free. There is no problem over there. So for that also we make sure that we do certain observation on the data which you have filled in GSTR-9. So there are some checklists which should always follow while you are preparing your GSTR-9, and that is something which we already provide. Which means there is a 19-point checklist where we make sure if there is certain differences in this form, there is some issues over here which you should always correct before even filing your GSTR-9. For example, you can see here when there is a differences in liability payable and paid. So if we see liability payable as per 5N plus 4G plus 10 minus 11, and the taxes which you pay in table number 9 and 14, and that obviously in table number 9 you may have certain liability which you would have paid in the current year but which was related to my previous year, right? So that information will also come in table number 9. But the question is, when it comes to table number 4, I only show the liability which is related to my particular current year for which I am preparing my GSTR-9, and where the taxes are also paid in the current year, right? So that comprises of my table number 4. But when it comes to table number 9, that's not the case. So here when we talk about payable and the paid, we show this is a liability payable, which means that 5N plus 4G, which is inward supply liable to RCM, plus 10 minus 11. This is the liability which is related to my current year, but I may have discharged the liability in the future year. Right? If we think about FY 22-23, which means I have a liability which is related to my FY 22-23, but I discharge this liability from my April 2023 till October 2023, then that comes in table number 10 and 11. 11 is a negative adjustment and 10 is a positive over the upward increment. Right. So that is the liability. When it comes to taxes paid, it's obviously we show in table number 9 and table number 14, but in table number 9 we may also have paid the taxes paid which is related to my previous year, but I have paid it now in the current year. Right. So we have to reduce the tax declared in table number 10 and 11 of my previous financial year GSTR-9 so as to get the correct figure. Right. So this is what we always make sure that we are doing this, so that by looking into the G9 form itself, you know that there are some problems here which you should rectify, because if you don't rectify, then definitely you are going to receive the notice from the department. Similarly, there are other checks also, like liability as per books ideally should match with the liability as per your GSTR-9. Then the declaration in the liability is exactly correct or not. So all of these checks are done over here, and whenever there is a warning, which means we are informing you that there is something wrong, you should always go ahead and correct. And you can always click on plus button to check what exactly or how exactly we are looking into this so as to correct in the respective section. Right. So this is about the entire 19-point checklist, which we make sure that you should always look into it before even filing your GSTR-9, so that the 9 which you are filing is correct and there is no problem to it. In the same way, obviously many times we have, okay, I want to edit some of the information. For example, in table number 6, let's assume we have already autofilled this basis file GSTR-3B, but I want to put a breakdown of capital goods over here, because obviously this information is never there in my GSTR-3B, but as per the government we have to put the capital goods information separately, though in respect of input service I can always merge it and there is no problem. So we also give you a functionality to edit this information. You just have to click on edit button. As you click on edit button, you are even allowed to edit certain informations over here. So you can just put, okay, this is the value I want to edit, and then you can click on save button. Once all this part is done, even if you want to download your entire GSTR-9 form in an Excel file, so that is also possible. So you can even do that. And we also, while computing and while saving, we'll also make sure that there is a proper checks which has been doing or we are doing, which means you are not putting some random figures. Let's assume you put some negative figure which is incorrect, government don't even allow. So we'll show that there is an error over there, right? So all of these checks are also done while we are saving this information over here. Along with this, you can just download this information in an Excel file, and from here also you can look into the various reports by clicking on a respective button. So here let's assume I want to download this GSTR-9 report, so you just have to click on download G9, and we will be downloading your entire GSTR-9 here at a PAN level as well as at a GSTN level. So you can just see this report has been downloaded, and you just have to click on this. Once this report is downloaded, here itself in the report you will see that we are showing that this is the auto prepared your entire GSTR-9 form. We show all the drill downs over here. Along with that, we also show the GSTR-1 summary, and in the summary we show that, okay, what are the respective sections, what are the information which is related to the current year, but actually the amendments has been done in the future year, or maybe there is certain information which is related to current year, but there is certain information which is related to previous year. All of these breakdowns also you can see it from here itself. Along with that, in the 9 comparison report, we also make sure that whatever the columns or the rows which we have over here, which means if I am saying there is a 4A, which is supply made to a unregistered person, there also basis the various sources, whether it's a G1, G9 auto computed books, we show what are the values, so that at a single place you would know that if there is any discrepancy, then there might a chance that you have missed something, right? So here you can even compare the information which we have shown in GSTR-9 basis different sources. So that can also be seen, and along with that you can also see the outward HSN summary which has been shown basis whatever the sources you have selected. And along with that, because when it comes to even preparing your GSTR-9C form, it's very important that while you are preparing your GSTR-9 form itself, your 9C is also prepared. Though on the government portal you can prepare 9C form only once you file GSTR-9. But it is important that 9C should also be prepared at the same time, so that if there are certain amendments, adjustments which has to be done, that can be done in 9 form itself rather than in the 9C form. Right. So, for that we also make sure your 9C form is also prepared basis whatever the informations you have filled in GSTR-9, and you can always look into this particular thing by clicking on 9C form tab. So, you can re-ingest by just clicking on action, and then you have to click on import GSTR-9 and then click on import file, and you can even re-import the same file back into clear text by selecting this option. So, this can be done both at a GSTN and the PAN level. So, whenever you are here inside and you selected, let us say in this case Delhi, so this means this is happening at a GSTN level, and whenever you have to do something at a PAN level, which means you want to download this entire GSTN-9 at a PAN level and want to even import this GSTN-9 at a PAN level, then you just have to click from this particular page, you just click on action and then click on download GSTN-9 at a PAN level. So, from here you will be able to download 9 at a PAN level, and from inside you will be able to download GSTR-9 at a GSTN level, right. Once this is downloaded, you can even import this GSTR-9 at the PAN level. So, for all the GSTNs, if you want to make certain changes and you want to ingest it again, you can always click on import GSTR-9. Right. So, this is how exactly you can do that, and here also you may apply certain filters. So, all of that information will be available to you. So, once your GSTR-9 is downloaded at a PAN level, you can just click on download button. Once you click on download button, your GSTR-9 at a PAN level can also be downloaded. You just have to click on that, and here you will see that this entire GSTR-9 it has a PAN level, right. So, you can see for respective GSTNs also. Along with that, you can also see this information at a PAN level, and you can even ingest by changing the certain information here. You can even re-ingest this back into clear text by just clicking on a import button under the action, right. So, you just have to click on import GSTR-9 and you can even ingest this information. Not only this, many times we have that I do not want a separate tab for the respective GSTNs, rather I want to have a same thing to ingest that information. So, for that we also provide this GSTR-9 PAN level pre-filled template. So, you can just click on this button, you can download this, and this will be downloaded like in a single tab. In a same particular file, you will be able to get this information. In a same tab, you will say, okay, this is the information which I have downloaded for all of the GSTN. So, that can also be done, and that also can be ingested back into clear text by clicking on import GSTN. Once this all is done and you feel that okay, every information is correct, you can see this information at a PAN level as well as a GSTN level here also, that what is your total turnover which you have reported, what is your total liability which you have reported other than reverse charge and under reverse charge, what is the total tax payable, what is your ITC claimed, what is ITC reversal, net ITC. After you see that all this information has been populated, you just click on validate and upload. Once you click on validate and upload, we'll make sure that we are validating all this information which you have furnished over here. For example, if there is certain errors, for example, in this particular case, there is an error in HSN summary, which means you are saying in HSN summary you have not quoted the HSN number, then we'll show that, and you can even download that error file by clicking on the error file button. So, you may see that there is certain error, which means the HSN summary which has been populated is not correct and you have missed reporting some of the information. Once you see that in this particular case it is written HSN cannot be empty, please write a valid HSN, and we all know in GSTR-9 the HSN is a mandatory field and you have to quote a correct HSN. Okay, so, for example, now I am adding some HSN over here. So, you may just write a particular HSN, whatever is the correct HSN, and then after that once you feel that okay, the HSN has been added, you can just save this and then again you can re-ingest this back into clear text. So, here you just have to click on close button, click on confirm exit, and after that click on action, and then you have to just click on import G9. Just click on import GSTR-9, then click on import file, just ingest the file which has been just downloaded, which is your validation error wala file. Once this part is done, here you just have to select a template was GSTR-9 template and then click on check file for errors and correction. After you click on this, then we will be ingesting this file with the HSN summary, and then after that you just have to click on import and proceed. After this is done, then obviously we are recomputing the information whatever you have ingested over here, so that there is no further errors. So, we will be checking that. After that, you can just click on validate and upload. Now we are just checking all the errors and there was no errors. So now you can actually go ahead and upload this information on the government portal. So you can just see it over here that this is your data. This is your data, which is the data which is there on the clear tax portal, and right now you have not uploaded anything on the government portal, so it's coming as 0. And we also show the status as upload status as not uploaded. You can also see the preview of GSTR-9 by clicking on preview G9 from here itself. So you can even just look into this entire data, that what is going to be saved on the government portal. Along with that, you can also delete certain data from the government portal. So if you see that there is some wrong information has been uploaded on the government portal, you can also delete the data from government portal from here itself by just clicking on action and then clicking on delete data from GSTR. So in this way, you can even delete some information from government portal. But now, because our main purpose is just to upload all of this data to the government portal in a single shot for all of your GSTN, right? So I want to just upload this information for all GSTNs. You can even select if I want to only upload for one GSTN, you can do that by selecting on a particular GSTN. But once this is done, you just click on upload to GSTN. After you click on upload to GSTN, this entire data will be uploaded on the government portal, and you can see this data has been uploaded in the government portal, and we have also generated a summary, and you can see there is a summary which has been generated. Once this has been generated, which means now this data has been uploaded, and you can see this information from here itself. So you can see this is your data and this is the data which has been uploaded on the government portal, and if there is a difference, then it will clearly mention that this is a difference. But in this particular case, there is no difference at all, and you can see everything is coming as 0. Once this is done, then you just have to click on file G9. When you click on file GSTR-9, then you just have to first select the signatory, then you can just select this EVC, and once this part is done, you click on acknowledge, and then you have to click on proceed to filing. So from here itself, you will also be allowed to file your GSTR-9 either using EVC or DSC in a single shot for all of your GSTN. So you don't even have to go on the government portal to file your GSTR-9. Not only this, you can even download your file GSTR-9 from the government portal from Clear itself after you file your GSTR-9. So this was all about how exactly you can file your GSTR-9 using Clear.